Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do my best knives of 2023 Q2. So basically through Q2, what are the best knives for this year, right? So it doesn't have to be knives that came out between, April and the end of June, just because it's like too hard for me to figure out. It's just the best knives. I'm also going to include a fidget and a flashlight, so I'm adding a couple categories as well as like budget knife, just to have some variety in this video, because I do have some items here I want to talk about. I think I have 8 or 9 knives and an honorable mention. The honorable mention is a knife that I don't have here because it's loaned out. If you guys follow the channel at all, a lot of knives that I get in for review, I pass around. So I don't actually have some of the knives here that maybe would be on the list if I had thought hard enough about it. Or, there might be knives that I really love that I've since moved on from, like the reconnaissance knives, Adzin flipper. I just fell in love with that knife, and I still think it's a fabulous knife. But I did end up selling it just because, I just circle of knife. You can watch my video on that, but it's definitely one of the better knives this year in my opinion. I loved it, but we've had a hell of a year. It has been a incredible year for knives, and I'm really happy to see that. So my honorable mention is going to be the CMB knives, or CMB made knives, Kawanagari. And it's sort of a folding Chris design. It's very cool. I will do my best to link every knife that I show you down below if I can, some way or another. But it's an abnormal knife for me to love. There's another one in this list that's going to be a little abnormal, but I just love the overall concept and design of that knife. And then the execution on the example I had was fantastic. And I just want to give CMB Knives props for that. I wish I had it here so that I could give it the rightful, due that it should get for being such an amazing piece this year. But that's the CMB Knives Kawanagari. Obviously not going to be for everybody, but just a cool piece. So that's that one. And then I guess I'll just quickly knock out the non-knife items. So for me, the fidget so far of 2023 has to be the Ant Design Official S Nano. This thing is phenomenal based on its function, its quality, the form, so aesthetic, and the price point. It just checks every one of those boxes. I actually have 3 of them. So this is a slip I got from them when I did the Kickstarter. This is the one I got on Kickstarter, and it's what started me really falling in love with this model. And it's just a slider on a track, so there's magnets in here, both opposing and attracting, I guess. And then there's 8 magnets on each side under these plates. You can unscrew that, and then you can pop this top plate off, and then there's going to be 8 magnets in there and sort of a rubber cover to keep it from, bouncing up and down and everything. And you literally just go up and down, and you can go all the way down like that. There's a couple of kind of tricks you can do, like you can keep this up, and then I call it the flash drive. You can do that move. It's very cool. It comes in zirconium. So this is a polished zirconium, and this is $109 in this configuration. And that's really affordable in my opinion. You can get titanium like this for $89. And I would argue the titanium might honestly be better in this case. Usually I would not argue that. This feels phenomenal, the zirconium. But this is a little bit lighter. And it does feel like maybe it has a little extra oomph to it because of that lighter material. Same magnets, you get a little bit of a stronger feel. And you can get it with 5 different plate options, so you can pick and choose what you want. Like here, I got the one that holds tritium, and then I bought tritium to fit in there. And I really like this sort of crosshatch pattern, so I have it on all of them. But very cool. This one's Loctiting, so I'm not going to use it, but just a fabulous fidget. And if you're looking to get into fidgets or try them for the first time, I think it's a great option because of the price. 109 in Zirc, 89 in titanium, and you can even get it in stainless steel for $69. I do have this cool high grain design slip he made me. He's just kind of trying something, and it actually does work pretty well. It's a little bit bulky, but I do enjoy it. So anyway, that is my fidget so far for the year of 2023, and I don't really see it changing, but you know. And then quickly, the flashlight for 2023 so far, in my opinion, is the Warrior Mini 3. Not something I would EDC, but something I would keep around my house or in a car or in a bag. And what separates this from all the other O-lights I've handled is it has the same great features as all of them, yet it has a tail switch. So you can charge it from the rear here. That's what she said. So you just put the O-light charger on like normal. It is magnetized, so it will magnetize to things just like any other O-light, yet it still functions as a tail switch. Has a proximity sensor there. It is very cool, so you can go kind of low and then you can get a high as well, and you can click in for getting that full brightness. It's very, very cool. I would love to see them implement this on a lot of their other stuff, and maybe they have, and I'm just kind of, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I really like this. This came out in July, so it might even be available right now, and they're like, I think they're like $70 on their sale for July, and normally they're like $80 or something, so it's under $100 for this fantastic flashlight. So check it out. I do have a link down below to O-light, and you can use my code LeftyEDC. If it's not on sale already, that'll get you 10% off. So definitely check it out. Love the O-light Warrior Mini 3. So there you go. That's the fidget and the flashlight. And then we'll hit the budget knife. And this thing has surprised the shit out of me. It's really my most impressive budget knife that I've handled in a long time, and it's only $30, and I think that's what really drives it home for me. And it's kind of an oddball, right? Not something you would normally think that I would really like, you know, especially considering we've seen things like the large pyrite, we've seen the, you know, Warncliffe pyrite, and a lot of other cool budget stuff come out this year. I don't usually keep budget knives all that long. I like to review them and everything, but then they usually move along in a giveaway or something like that, or a pass around. But this knife just, for some reason, catches me. It's $30 on Amazon. Again, I'll link it down below. This is the Lothar Knives Seagull, I believe. And it has this laminate carbon fiber that somehow does not look god-awful on this. I normally hate that, but it's $30. Red aluminum collar, very thin and sleek. It does have a nice, sharp D2 steel blade. Yes, D2, but it's coated, and it's $30. The action on it is bonkers. The detent on this thing is clicky as all get out. It pops out of there with a nice push button. It flies out of there with a nice light switch, and then you have that hole for deployment as well that you can reverse flick. The closing action is just silly good. It is on bearings, and it just drops. I mean, there's no play or anything like that, and it's dead nut centered. And I don't know, it's just really good for $30. So it caught me off guard, basically, and has a decent finger choil, flipper choil situation. You have a Warncliffe blade, so you have a really usable blade. Again, very thin, you know, but it's just cool. It's made in China, obviously, German company, but made in China. And I just really like the Seagull. So I think for $30, I've I've been saying this. It's the best $30 knife you can get. I would take this over a rat any day. Depending on your use case, if you're a hard user, rat probably makes more sense. But if you're a fidget guy and you want a good EDC blade, you know, Warncliffe style blade, something like that, this is really, really good. So that's the Lothar Seagull. So we got that stuff knocked out. Let's just go down the line now and see the rest of the knives that I think are the best of 2023. So first up is a left-handed knife. I have 2 of these. There's a few of these that I have multiples of, and that's for a reason, right? I really like the knife. This is the Synapse from Vero Engineering. So this is not a new design, but it is a new model because this is the left-handed version of the knife. I have a Damascus clip on this guy. It's M390 with a belt satin. Just phenomenal knife. It has great action with that sort of tucked away flipper tab from Vero. And then you have that slot on one side, which as a lefty, having it be on the appropriate side is really cool to feel that. And then I have one with Damascus backspacer and clip on the black wash. And you also get the same deployment and everything over here. I will say consistency is a little bit hit or miss on a QC in terms of detent and stuff like that, but they are, you know, working on that. And yeah, they did a great job on these. Just a very good knife, and I enjoy it very much. The next one is, man, it just has stolen my heart this year, and that is the Riot Knives XOM. So this is the smaller version of the XO. They now have a mini too, but this is the M, and this is the Cranes Cutlery exclusive with the Zircuti inlays on it. And then this one is a drop point blade. The drop point really does it for me because it actually cuts well compared to the Tanto, and I'm not a double edge guy, so it just kind of makes sense. It also looks really clean, I think, with the drop points. And 3V steel, just very cool. I believe this guy was like $427, something like that, from Cranes Cutlery with the Zircuti scales on it. I also have one here that has carbidized scales on it. So this came with my Carta, but I got scales from Carbidized. They were like $100. And then the knife was $285. And this is Carbo Tie, purple Carbo Tie. So it kind of has a fat carbon look, but it's definitely got more purple. It just pops a little bit better. And yeah, it's very cool. I actually have been trying to sell this one. I haven't actively posted it or anything. But if anybody is interested in this, let me know. I think I'd sell it for, I don't know, $375. I probably have 400 into it with the scales and everything. So if you're interested, let me know. That's the XOM. It's just fabulous. It's a knife I didn't think that I would truly love. I honestly hated the original XO. I thought it was so stupid. It wasn't fun really for me past the first 5 minutes. It wasn't useful, but the M just does it for me. It has a lock and a clip, and that makes a big difference. And once you bear down on it, it's pretty locked up. It cuts really well. It just does everything you need, and it's cool as shit. So the XOM is a winner for me. One of the best knives this year. The next one is from Kershaw. So I really want to promote this knife because it's the only thing from Kershaw in the last like 5 years that I could honestly say I give a shit about. So I want to, you know, put it out there. I want them to make more OTFs. I want them to make a premium version of this. I want them to do more with this platform and not just, you know, start pumping out those D2 shitty knives, you know, that they've been putting out lately. This is a USA made OTF. It is in 20 CV steel, and it was $230. I think that price point is perfect. A lot of people complain about the price on this. $230. It's in 20 CV, made in the United States, and it's an OTF. OTFs cost way more than that. Usually, you're looking at least $300 for that. So the price point's perfect for me. The clip grew on me. It's a little angled, but I really love it. The action is phenomenal. It's an easy deployment, easy to open and close. It's just, it's really got the best action, I think, on a OTF I've handled this year. Now, there's other ones, and, you know, I'm probably having recency bias here. I really like the Shift from Axial. I recently got a teal one, so I was going to sell this as well. Again, that is not a knock on the knife. It's just I have to move knives. I can't keep them because I don't carry them. And if I don't carry them, I just feel like it's pointless. I might as well keep the money flowing to keep the channel going and everything. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I think these are harder to get, so I'd probably still be asking for, you know, $215 or something like that. There's a little mark here from the clip being on the other side. And it has been sharpened by Kyle Coonley, who is a professional sharpener. So it has a very, very good sharp edge on it, which is a lot nicer than the factory edge, trust me. So that is something I did pay to have done. But anyway, you know, $215, something like that for this if you're interested. But the Kershaw Livewire is phenomenal. I love the design overall, the aesthetic, the ergos, the size. It just does really well for me. And it has resonated with me. I've thought about selling it now for a month or so, and I'm not actively out there, you know, trying to get rid of it because I don't mind if I don't sell it. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations. It's kind of how I've been treating this other XOM. You know, I don't need to sell it, and I do really, really like it, so it's not the end of the world if I hang on to it. But I do want Kershaw to get some props for making a fantastic first OTF, so great job, Kershaw. Let's talk about some slip joints. How about that? I have 2 slip joints for 2023 that I think are top notch. There's some other ones. The low drag jack from Jack Wolf would definitely be in the running for a slip joint category, but this is just like best knives of 2023, so I'm trying to limit it a little bit. So the Jack Wolf that slip joint that I have in the running for the, not in the running, and just in the grouping, I'm not doing like a finals thing here or anything, is the Feel Good Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. Now, I have this beautiful Northwoods Leatherworks slip on this one. This is the Limoncello Camo Carbon Feel Good Jack. Has a yellow Butera leather and then this black wax canvas over. It's a ghost leather material from Troy. Absolutely love it. And I just got this slip from my buddy Justin, who runs High Grain Designs. I recently got into a group chat with him, and we've been talking, and he offered to just send me one to check out to see his work. And yeah, I'm impressed. It's really, really good. Now, I do like the thinness of what Troy does a little bit better. That's just more my style, having that really thin feel in the pocket, because a lot of times these knives go into a side pocket or something like that, and the thinner they are, the better. But I can't deny the quality of the stitching and just the design of this slip. It's phenomenal. And he did say it fits just sort of medium-sized knives, which is cool because, honestly, this thing fits perfectly in there. It's not coming out at all, but it's easy to get out. So it's almost like it was made for the Feel Good Jack, but apparently it'll fit a lot of stuff. So that's kind of cool. I can, use this for whatever, but very well made, very cool. I mean, it's got that sort of taco style construction. But the knife, which is what we're talking about here, is the Feel Good Jack. And I have 2 of them. As I said, I have 2 of a few of these knives because that's how much I like them. So I had the Limoncello one, and then I have the Lava Flow one as well. This one I scratched the shit out when I was trying to clean it and kind of get it centered or whatever, which I did. But I was slipped out of the pivot, even with a cloth over it. The driver just took a nice scratch out of that. So this baby has a love mark, and you know what? I love that because it makes me carry it more and not worry about it. I took this with me on my trip to Montana. It actually was a great knife to have on that trip. It got a splinter out for me. I had a splinter in the bottom of my foot, and my wife actually dug it out, and she was just kind of like picking at it, and boom, it just kind of got under the splinter, and she popped it, and the splinter just shot out of my foot and like shot across the room. This thing is a surgical tool. It's very, very thin, has a nice full hollow grind, and then you have that classic Jack Wolf look and walk and talk that we all know and love at this point. And the limoncello one here is my special one. It just has that little extra bit of a bounce that you get on, you know, some knives. It's just how it goes. Sometimes you get the perfect action, and this one has it. Absolutely wonderful on that limoncello. So I love the Feel Good Jack. One of the best knives of 2023. Probably, as of right now, my most carried knife in 2023. I love that knife to death. But really close behind, possibly even with it, is the Kvist Bladeworks Vanish. So this is a small slip joint that just, man, it has stolen my heart. I love this knife to death. I have a couple versions here. Again, I have slips from Troy, my boy, Northwoods Leatherworks. In my opinion, the best slips in the game. Just the thinness, the character, the cross-stitching, everything. I just love his work so much. The choice of material, all that. This ghost leather with the mahogany or the whiskey leather. Oh, my God. And I have two versions. This one is the bronze or gold tie with black wash. This was called the gold, what is it called? The Goldmonger, I think. Killmonger version. And then it has the Sagaha pattern lasered on. So this is a Urban EDC exclusive version. The ergos on this knife are just perfect for me. My finger lands right into that cutout. Just, man, I just get a great grip on it. Pinch grip is great. I can one-hand operate it on the close, which is phenomenal. It's just super fun to fidget with. Such a good knife. And then they had these exclusive slips from Troy as well. And you know I picked one of those up. And then I have the Blue Creek knives, since they've gone out of business since, but this is an exclusive to them with a topo pattern on it, which is very cool. You have a stonewash blade. This was the all stonewash one. I think he called this one the Silver Samurai. And again, just very, very cool. I just love the two patterns on these, and I'm glad I have both of them. And then I have a Kvist custom slip that he had made by Northwoods Leatherworks, Troy again, and this one is in blue with the ghost leather, so this will slowly wear and that blue will come through. You can see it a little bit here and there. The more you carry and use it, the better. And the Vanish is just an amazing little EDC knife. It has inspired us, as in Colin and I, from Divo knives to do a small slip joint. So we are prototyping our nip slip design. We had a little flipper hole deployment knife that we're coming out with as well on bearings, and it's locking obviously, and we have designed that into a slip joint because this just kind of was a proof of concept that something could be this small and feel perfect for EDC. It really is one of the best knives of 2023. I don't know if they're still available, but he had them for stupid prices on his website last time I looked. They were like $99. This is in 20 CV and titanium. $99, and you can use my code LeftyEDC over at kvistbladeworks.com. That'll get you 10% off anything at his website. The Feel Good Jack is available at some locations as well. I will link the dealers I have affiliate links with and others, and you guys can go check that out. But again, any of those links usually help the channel, which, you know, might as well, right? So I think we're down to two here that I have. The next one is going to be probably a contender for most people for Knife of the Year, and that's the EMP EDC Relative. A lot of people love this knife, me included, and it's just a really cool, well-designed knife from John over at EMP EDC. It's kind of, for me, the culmination of everything he's been doing with the Nimble. I feel like he took all the good and removed all the bad and just crushed it with the Relative. It's got really cool milling on the scales. This one's OEM by Best Tech. I did end up getting a blue Zircuti clip for it. I think these were right around $350. That clip was like $80 or $90. Sorry if I didn't tell you pricing. These are like $130 or something like that. Slips are a little more, maybe like $50. And then the Feel Goods are $300. Slips, same thing. You know, $35 direct. If you get them elsewhere, it's like $50. This was $230. Oh, I did miss a knife. We'll get to that one. So there's two more after this. But yeah, so the Relative, a really good belt satin on this. There's a bunch of versions like DLC, Blackout, Stonewash, all that kind of stuff. This is kind of the Tux version. I don't believe he actually did this version on pre-order or drop or anything. I think that he put this together to kind of decide if he was going to do it, and then he didn't or something. I don't know. You can get basically this version, but with bronze hardware, if that makes sense. But anyway, this is an 20 CV. So it's a 20 CV blade. You can see that, right? 20 CV blade with the black handle and the satin hardware, which is like my go-to. Tux is one of my favorite finishes. So I really like it. The detent is solid on it. It's not like strong, but it fires really well, and it works phenomenally left-handed, which is probably the thing that made me fall in love with this the most, because I was like, yes, I can flick this left-handed. We have no play in any direction. It swings down. It's not a guillotine unless I have a little bit of play, but I don't need it to be. It does have a little bit of a Tanto tip right here. I'm guessing a lot of people would just round that out when they sharpen it, but we'll see. There's a compound grind, hollow, flat. Really nice long jimping there. You do have that fuller, so if you wanted to flick it from down there, you could. You also have a front flipper that is pretty fun to front flip. Not my favorite front flipper, but it works really well. You can do the rollback. It is jacking me up a little bit, so I'm not going to do that. But feels good. Just a cool knife, you know? So that's the Relative. Definitely a contender, I would say, for most people out there for Knife of the Year, and me included. The next one is the one I kind of skipped over because I jumped to the slip joints, and that's the Gunslinger Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. I was debating this one, you know, I was like, do I put it in? And then I realized the thing that was stopping me from putting it in was perception. I was like, oh, people are gonna think I'm just, you know, promoting Jack Wolf stuff. I have an orange vanilla polar seltzer. Excuse me. I talk way too much, so I need a drink. Perception. Yeah, I was like, well, people are gonna be like, oh, it's a Jack Wolf. He's just putting that in, you know. Ben sends him those, you know, that whole thing. But I realized, I stopped and said, well, if that's what's stopping me, then it goes on the list, because that's not a good reason to not put something on the list, right? You know what I mean? But that's just, you know, I was working through it in my brain. And this is just, for the first folding knife coming out of a company, it's ridiculously good. Very, very cool stuff. It is unique in some ways, and people kind of compare it to Peñas, and I just don't see that at all. I know they're, you know, modern, traditional, or whatever, but other than that, it stops there. The full hollow grind on this is something I haven't really seen on other knives. The absolute thinness of this blade out to the tip, which, by the way, I've talked to Ben about this. Some of the reasons for having not perfectly centered ones, which can happen with Jack Wolf sometimes, is because it's such a thin blade with that full hollow that it's really hard not to have a little bit of warpage or just something in that tip area, and that can throw off your centering. So that did actually make me go, oh, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, this one's dead centered now that I've had it and fiddle with it enough, but I love the knife. The full hollow grind is stupid, and you really don't see knives this thin. Somebody weighed the blade, and it was like the stupidest lightness. It was stupidly light. The action on it, once I took it apart, put skiffs in it, just carried it, put KPL heavy on the detent ball. I mean, it swings down like that. I don't know what, bounces off my thumb and then takes a little bit of a shake. I don't know what more you can ask for from a blade that weighs, nothing. I mean, I think the measurement was like 0.05 ounces or something. It was crazy. You have that fuller that's nice and sharp, so you can really flick it. The detent on this one is crispy, so it just really pops and feels great. I can still do the what I'm calling the Walmart special, so I can do the rollback move real easily. Like I said, my finger's jacked up right now, so I'm struggling a little bit in general, but there you go. Rolls back really nice. You can actually do a reach around on this knife pretty easy as well. You have the traditional front flip, which works really well. The jimping isn't exactly what I'd want. I'd want it to go around and, but it works. I mean, you don't have a big tab, but it pops really well. Left-handed works great because of the bolster lock. And then just aesthetically, it's gorgeous. It's a beefed up, sharpshooter, purple anno everywhere. Whichever colorway you chose, it would match, obviously. And then you have the purple haze, fat carbon, dead center. It's just gorgeous and well done. Excellently executed by his OEM. And definitely deserves props. And not wanting to have people think I'm a shill is not a reason to not put this on the list. Not a reason not to. Is whatever, what I'm trying to say. Love it. So that's the Gunslinger Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. And the last one is just so close to my heart. I don't know what it is. I love this knife to death. So this is the Caval Knives Danka. And this is in a Northwoods Leatherworks slip, perfectly made by Troy. And this is not a slip joint. This is a locking knife. And it is designed by Tiguous. And he is the same designer of that Kawanagari knife I mentioned earlier, the honorable mention. And I am loving what Tiguous is doing this year. He's just had a lot of cool knives come out. A lot of them with Caval knives, which is very cool. I've been able to check a lot of them out. But you have this beautiful liner lock design, brushed barking type finish on the titanium. You have Timascus / Mokutai on the backspacer, and what he calls a actually, I don't know what he calls it. I call it a thumb square. It is unique. Never seen something like that before. I'm on record as saying thumb discs are literally the worst. I fucking hate thumb discs. But somehow a thumb square is really good. You just get under it with your nail, and it fires so well. And you can do the same thing with your thumb. You can get under it like that and fire it, or you can go with the meat of your thumb. I usually go meat of the thumb and then nail of the middle finger, and I can get it real easy. The action is phenomenal. The ergonomics are just out of this world. For my hand, it's perfect. You have this choil area right here, and then everything else just lines up perfectly for me. Again, for me. I land right here. It's just melts into my hand. Pinch grip is money. You have a hollow grind down here, so you actually get a pretty decently thin blade. It cuts really well. EDC, all that kind of stuff is exceptional on this knife. You have that beautiful belt satin grind with horizontal flats. It came in, I believe, like a bead blast finish as well. Lock bar access is phenomenal. It drops and bounces. Smooth shakedown. I have put skiffs in here, but wasn't really necessary. Flick's great. I mean, it's a bank vault in all directions. Very small knife, but it just, man, it's just so good. Slurpee Saver grip works pretty damn well as well. And yeah, it's a surprising knife to me. How much I love it is a surprise. But that doesn't take away from how goddamn good this knife is. It is one of the best knives of 2023. I know some of you just can't get over the aesthetic. You think it's hideous. What you see as hideous, I see as beauty. This is one of the coolest looking knives I've ever seen. And I just love this knife to death. I love that it doesn't have a clip because it's super comfortable in the hand. They're thinking about making a larger one that does have a clip. So for you guys who want that, that's cool. But I just rock it in this slip. It's really nice in the pocket. Easy to pull out right there. So she said. And it's a home run. So there you go, guys. That's a shit ton of knives we just talked about. Those are the best knives so far of 2023, in my opinion, based on what I have here. I know I'm forgetting things. You know, there's a whole world of stuff out there that I have forgotten to include. I'll throw in one other honorable mention. This came in from my buddy Josh Worth. I proxy for him. And this came in for him, for me to send over to Australia. And I got to give props where props are due. The Evo Typhoon DLT exclusive with the aspirated holes, or whatever you call those things, is really freaking cool. This is just a really sweet knife. You could put the mini, I think it's the mini Evo that came out this year on here as well, that had the fat carbon inlays. Those are freaking cool as well. I've been debating picking up a Purple Haze fat carbon one since they dropped. I just personally don't agree with the clip. The clip just never works for me. It's too damn tight. It's a little pokey right here. It's always been my issue. And then the flipper tab can be a little pokey as well. But those are my main reasons for not spending the $400, you know. But I think for most people, they don't care about that stuff. And the build quality, the design, everything is just phenomenal on Sharp by Design knives. And this knife, for the size of the blades, it's almost a 4-inch blade, 3 3/4, I think. It feels like a normal size knife. It just feels grip wise. He packs so much into a handle. It's amazing. So Brian Nadeau definitely deserves some props in 2023. Whoops. Whether it be the mini Evo or this Evo Typhoon exclusive with DLT. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. We have a literal shit ton of knives here. They won't even fit on the desk, I am sure. Let's see if we can do it. Nope. I'm just gonna have to start dumping them. Dump. Fidget. Flashlight. Oh, and the budget knife. There we go. Yeah, let me know your choices, guys. I would love to hear down below if you can leave me a comment with your choices for your favorite knives this year so far. That would be really cool to hear. And if you would like the video and subscribe, that would help a lot as well. I, again, will link anything and everything I can down below. Check out my link tree, guys. It is littered with discount codes and affiliate links and all types of stuff that helps you and helps me. And, of course, that works for everybody. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and, you know, allowing me to do all this cool stuff. Hope you guys have a great day. And I will catch you later.